I am a very stylish girl.
Hey there everybody, and welcome to the results episode of Which Would You Choose? So, it's been a week since I put the last video out on Monday, and don't get used to videos coming out on Monday, people, because this was a special thing. It's not going to be permanent. You're just going to have to wait for Fridays again like before from now on. So it's been about a week since that video where I showed you guys which apartments I was considering, and a lot of you gave me your feedback both on Facebook and on the YouTube channel, and today I'm going to give you the results. And yes, I will also give you the result on which one I ended up going with. After tallying up all the results of which apartment I should go with, I actually saw two big surprises. Surprise number one, most people preferred 2 out of the top 3 apartments I was considering, which means I must have great taste. Surprise number 2 was that absolutely not one person picked the apartment that I actually chose. Which means I guess my taste isn't really that good after all. So let's just start with that. So, drum roll please. Actually, as that turns out, that's wrong. We thought apartment number 3 was the winner, but apparently it's not. I'll tell you more about that later. Also, if you're wondering why I look so bad and sound funny, I came down with strep throat, so I'm sick. But anyways, you'll hear more about why it actually is not apartment number 3 in part 2 of this video. In this video, I'm going to actually explain to each of you why I did and didn't choose the apartments that I picked. I guess I'll start with the ones I didn't pick. Let's do them in order. The first apartment I didn't pick was apartment number 1. Let's take a look at it again, shall we? So, some of the things that were great about this apartment was that it had a lot of room, and it had 2 bathrooms, and it even had one room that would have been really great for my sewing room. It also had some really nice washer and dryer, and the appliances were beautiful. However, reasons why I decided not to choose this apartment was because, one, it was kind of far out of the way, which would have made it a little harder to get to work, and reason number 2, which was the really big one, was that you can't really see it in the video, but this apartment really needed a lot of fixing up. It was really dirty, and there were a lot of holes in the wall from pictures that people put up, which is fine, but they also had a lot of stickers stuck to the wall, which would have taken a long time to get off. And because the apartment was just so old looking, we would have had to have professional painters come in and do a lot of paint work. So this one actually would have been really expensive to fix up. So even though it had some really great appliances, it would have taken a long time and a lot of money to fix it up the way we want it to be. And for the price that it was selling for, and the distance it was from the city, and the distance it was from my work, it just didn't feel like we were getting enough bang for our buck. So we decided not to go with this apartment because it would have been really expensive and not super convenient. The second apartment on the list, which was also one that I didn't pick, was apartment number 2. Not a lot of people preferred apartment number 2, so I guess we were all on the same track with this one. Problems with this apartment was because of the way that it was laid out, even though it had enough square footage, it just wouldn't have fit the furniture well. There would have been like bedroom chest of drawers in the living room and all kinds of other things. Plus, I really didn't like the appliances. I thought the washer and dryer and the stove and the fridge were really outdated. The worst part about this one was actually that there was construction happening right outside of our balcony, which would have been really noisy, and the construction was near the beginning stages, so it actually would not have been a short thing that I had to live through. It would have been for years, and I won't listen to construction every day for the next few years of my life. So that is why apartment number 2 did not make it that far on my list of ones I liked. What was nice about this apartment was that it actually had some really nice amenities. It had the pool, it had a gym, it had a spa, it had a sauna, it had a steam room. So this was actually really good as far as the amenities, but once you got to the apartment, I mean, was I buying it for the amenities or was I buying it for the apartment? Apartment number 4. This is one that nobody voted for, which is hilarious. I didn't like it because I wasn't convinced that the exposed brick, as beautiful as it was that sturdy or would keep the cold out and the heat in, or vice versa, depending on what season it is. It was really small, so I just felt the furniture was going to be really cramped in there. Didn't like the washer and dryer. There was practically no closet space. The kitchen, although it had been recently renovated, looked like it hadn't been, so I didn't like that. And I just felt that the room was really small, and although it was in a great location because it was right in the middle of Gastown, and which is a really nice, funky area of the city, really old looking because it's all the original architecture, it just didn't think that it was the kind of place that was worth the amount of money that they were asking for it. Apartment number 5 was actually everybody's first choice. Most people voted for apartment number 5, and I have to tell you guys, apartment number 5 was strongly in the running with me. I really, really liked it, and yeah, it had a lot of great stuff. It had a gym, it had a beautiful patio, it had gorgeous renovated kitchen, great sized bathroom, storage locker, parking spot. Everything seemed really, really great, but there were some things about this apartment that just didn't make the grade. For example, the bedroom was literally a bedroom. You could fit absolutely nothing else in this room except the bed. No night tables, no chest of drawers, no nothing. So that really wasn't going to fly with me. Another thing about this building that I didn't like, and this is probably the biggest thing, is that it is right near Hastings. And I actually had one of the viewers, Random Andy, ask, what did you mean by near Hastings? Well, because near Hastings, of you who are unfamiliar with Vancouver, Hastings Street is a street that is pretty bad news. It's one of the more dangerous streets in Vancouver, and the building that apartment was in is actually situated right near the crazy part of it. The building itself is actually right next door neighbors with a really sleazy strip joint, and just around the corner from that is the safe injection site where heroin addicts go to safely inject themselves with heroin. Also on top of that, it is right near the street called Hastings, which was all where the sketchy people hang out. It's a dangerous place to be. There's a lot of poverty there. It's very, very dirty. And also the apartment building is right across the street from a fire station, so whenever anything happens, which is really, really common on Hastings, I would have to hear those fire trucks all the time. So that was not so fun. So that is why, although most of you loved that apartment, it wasn't the best choice just because of location. It was in a really bad area, and it was also the most expensive apartment. So I mean, I just feel that if I'm gonna be spending every penny I make on an apartment, then I might as well be living in a place that's safe for me to walk home at night. None of you want to see the tribal butterfly getting mugged and beat up, right? Of course. So that is why apartment number 5 did not win. Alright, that's it for part 1. If you want to see why I chose apartment number 3, then you're gonna have to go to part 2. See you there.
I am a very stylish girl.